off to a great start. Our next reader is Claudia Delfina Cardona. She is a Tejana poet proudly born and raised in San Antonio. She received her MFA in poetry from Texas State University this last spring. She's also the editor-in-chief and co-founder of Chifladazine, an online and print publication showcasing the creative work of Latinas and Latinxs. Her work can be found in Cosmonauts Avenue, Tinderbox Journal, and Apogee Journal. Welcome, Claudia.
I want to firstly thank Vincent for thinking of me when organizing this reading. I want to thank Malvern for this amazing space, all of their great poetry books, and just being alongside amazing poets like Laura and Victoria too. I'm really happy to be in this space right now. So I like to start with a poem by someone I admire before I go into my poems. And I like to think that this is like, if I had like a family tree of poems, this would be part of it. Maybe like an ant, I imagine. It's called Miracle Fish by Ada Limon. I used to pretend to believe in God. Mainly, I like so much to talk to someone in the dark. Think of how far a voice must have to travel to go beyond the universe. How powerful that voice must be to get there. Once, in a small chapel in Chimayo, New Mexico, I knelt in the dirt because I thought that's what you were supposed to do. That was before I learned to harness that upward motion inside me, before I nested my head in the blood of my body. There was a sign and it said, "This earth is blessed. Do not play in it. But I swear I will play on this blessed earth until I die." I relied on a miracle fish once in New York City to tell me my fortune. That was before I knew it was my body's water that moved it, that the massive ocean inside me was what made the fish swim. So I'm going to be reading mostly from my thesis called Temporary Tattoo. It has a lot to do with like place, San Antonio, obviously, desire and astrology. So I'm an Aries. Are there any other Aries here? Okay, well, I feel special. So this poem is called Sun in Aries. I paint my face with blue and red because bright colors make me feel extraordinary. I tie the ends of my white shirt like I'm someone significant and sexual. My body is always bowled over with desire. I walk by the kissing alley and decide that tonight I will indulge myself in luxuriously named drinks and complain about what the jukebox lacks. Cardi B is playing and I'm reminded that there is only summer, that I do not wish to be timeless, only briefly regal and sweaty on a rooftop bar. The humidity feels necessary, just like the pale ale on my tongue, flashing neon on my back, bartender smashing mint with a wooden spoon, a sky that looks like a broken disco ball. When I get home, I sprawl out on my mattress and feel night swirl inside me like a snow globe. Everything feels urgent, and I'm not sure why. Each moment, a heavy sigh, propelling my heart forward like a pinwheel on a flight. So this poem's inspired by mi tierra. I assume maybe you know what that is. Hopefully it's like a staple in San Antonio. Very touristy restaurant, but I think it's very beautiful. And that this poem is dedicated to mi tierra. My heart is a tourist track. I want to believe the chambers of my heart look like mi tierra. 1,000 rows of golden papel picado intertwined with a million tiny lights. Piñatas that look like full-body pentagrams. La Virgen atop an altar for los muertos. Photos of Huera women that look like my grandmother. Walls adorned with Pancho Villa and Flaco Jimenez. I've never been to Yayoi Kusama's infinity room, but I swear to God, mi tierra comes close. It's always Christmas here, like West Side houses with icicle lights under August heat. My ribcage houses waitresses adorned in red, white, and green, serving too many micheladas to men who never tip. And yes, the mariachis never cease to play. Lay your head on my chest and listen. So this poem is about my grandmother. My middle name's Delfina, that's her name, Delfina Cardona. I look to the kitchen where Fina is washing her Christmas china. A decimated cake in the shape of a Yule log sits on the plastic-covered dining room table. Coffee cups collect in the sink. The buzz of a telenovela whirls throughout this drafty house while her fingers prune. I sit by the tree adorned with delicate pink and gold glass, tempting me to crush. There is so much I don't know about my grandmother. In the weeks before her death, my mother said I should interview her, but the whole thing felt too formal. I wish I could have seen her dance in her black dress that I inherited, but I can't fit into. I look at old photographs and see that her smile is my smile. I try and summon her when I listen to Los Panchos and wander through my apartment, lighting all the candles I own. I open all the windows and wish for that Christmas Eve silence, waiting for that distant sound of hands swaying in dishwater. I'm gonna do two more. This one is inspired by Carrie Fountain, who is a great poet, who lives in Austin. You should check her out or see her read. I feel like she does a lot of readings around town. It's called Done. I'm done wearing my most seductive shoes because I always find myself wanting to do more sitting than dancing. Done with nights that make me unspool like a ribbon. Done assuming that white men know what to do with me. Done with my hurt cumbia circling through the edges of my body, the sort of dance that keeps all the neighbors up at night. Done with my addiction for the sort of romance that's unsustainable in daylight and awkward in public. When I feel ashamed of how I love, I remind myself of what my friend once said: us Mexicans love violently. I know exactly what he meant. It's true. I love in that Aztec human sacrifice type of way, flint blade and all. But even more, I love like a rainbow parachute on a schoolyard, how it's pitched upward and swells with air. The sky becomes a color wheel, the child's heart a frenzy. So this poem is about Corpus. I really think writing about place is important. I think of like the New York School of Poets, and like my dream is to have like a South Texas, Central Texas like school of poets where you just like reference things and people aren't like, what? Like I don't know where that is. Whereas like Frank O'Hara does that in his poems all the time, and I think we should like do the same thing. So it's inspired by Morgan Parker's poem Matt, and Mitski's Your Best American Girl. It's called My Own Private Corpus Christi. On I-37, those 3 hours were like days. We drank grape Four Locos till early Texas sky peeled back like an onion and rain looked like tinsel. All the Shell gas station signs looked like nearby stars at 4 a.m. Matt sped to one in a small town and bought us breakfast tacos, shrouded in grease-stained yellow paper. The smell of hot sauce and malt liquor stained my car seats for weeks. And when the morning unfolded like a letter, the gray sky half blinded me. We made our way to an expensive oyster bar, and the whole city looked empty. When the server asked us if we wanted dessert, Matt said, "Certainly not," a phrase we repeated to each other throughout the spring. We tried to go to the aquarium, but it was closed. On our defeated walk to the car, Matt told me about the time he saw a dead whale washed ashore when he was a kid. I wanted him to think of it as significant, but he did not. I wish that he did. And now I am visiting a different city, walking to a Dairy Queen with a friend. I tell her that sometimes I find myself missing Corpus, And she reminds me how stupid that trip was, how close to death we were, and she was right. It's like a prose poem, sounds like. The truth is that I miss infatuation. How it can wash over you and feel impossible, like trying to drink a flood. On our walk to the hotel, I spoon chocolate ice cream into my mouth and peer into every bright and naked window. One shows me its mid-century modern interior. Walls so white they radiate. A man's silhouette is temporarily tattooed on the kitchen wall, and I imagine he is waiting for his wife, who is out doing hot yoga, her tattoos bending along the small curves of her body while he makes pad thai. I am so jealous. I cannot help but imagine this sort of future where I watch Matt undress my copy of Magnolia Electrico while I admire his gin blossoms. Our apartment's lighting is honey-soaked and Corpus is so far away. We couldn't make it by morning, even if we tried. Thank you.